Los Angeles Times called it spellbinding at times, a concert of human emotion, something that might change your life. When it debuted at South by Southwest, Rolling Stone listed it as one of the movies they can't wait to see, and the Austin Chronicle reviewed it as a compelling film that should raise healthy discussions. Rave reviews aside, Academy Award-nominated director Joe Berlinger had one purpose in the making of the documentary about Tony Robbins: to give people an experience they wouldn't otherwise have, and there is no doubt he succeeded in that. You see, every year, more than 200,000 people attend one of Tony's events, and just once a year, 2,500 people from all over the world make the trek to Florida to attend his most intimate and intensive seminar, Date with Destiny. The making of this documentary marks the very first time that Tony let outside cameras in to film the event. Why is this? Because Date with Destiny is unlike any other event, program, or seminar in the world. Over 6 days, attendees work with Tony to uncover the controlling forces that drive all of their thoughts, actions, and behaviors. They do the work necessary to discover their true identity, their core emotions. They peel back the layers on their intimate relationships. It's really intense and it's highly personal, but it's also truly enlightening. One of the most fascinating subjects at Date with Destiny is polarity, the masculine and the feminine. It's the key to passion, and not just love, but rather a deep, intimate connection with your partner. But a lot of couples find that while they have plenty in common and enjoy doing things together or even sharing loving moments, they don't have the passion. Sure, they might have started out with passion, but it's somehow fizzled out over the months or years they've been together, and they wonder how this could have happened to them. In many cases, it's simply because of polarity. Both people are demonstrating masculine traits, or both feminine, so it just doesn't work. It's kind of like putting two positive or negative sides of a magnet together. They won't stick, they repel, and once that cycle begins, it's hard to break free. Does this story sound familiar to you? It's pretty common among couples. To help illustrate that, and to give you a way to break out of the cycle, we are about to share what happened at a previous Date with Destiny event, where Tony works with a couple struggling to find polarity in the relationship. Get ready for this.
Who else your other vision has? Let's start with somebody who has some. Oh, okay. Wow, you're all voting for this man. Okay, stand up. Give him a hand. Whoa.
I was told to.
You were told to.
No,
because do you want to?
Yeah, I do. Because
Okay,
it was
good.
so well received, I thought, man, this is a winning run.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I got to wear my glasses.
You got it.
Okay.
From the heart.
Passion, laughter, fun-filled dinners at the pool, in the garden, at the dams, intimacy everywhere. Become a full man, walks together, I will listen.
Wow. Come on, ladies, for God's sakes. You have no idea what that means yet, but you'll learn.
Yeah. I've got to understand here, but I don't know if I'm going to get that one. Be affectionate and attentive. And this one, make sure she has nothing to fear ever.
That's beautiful. That's awesome.
Make sure she's cared for and cosseted. Make enough business she can be cared for and be generous to our families. Start a fund to help the poor guys from an incident that we've just been through. Start a support group for the people I'm talking about. Take her breath away every day.
It looks like you're speaking to this woman here. Is that true? Well, you should stand up to receive what he's sharing with you, for God's sakes. Please continue.
Show her gratitude. Every day love her. Make sure she never wants for a drink, money, security, affection. Take her to Antarctica. The Platinum Program. Las Vegas for the business program. A new Merc in 18 months. And the house sorted in a few years. And that's about it.
Well, as long as you're up, why don't you share your vision for a relationship? See if they have any matching pieces here.
Strangely enough, mine is not as lengthy as my husband's, and I'm usually the one who has more words. So
That's okay.
I'm a bit astounded, actually.
About astounded.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's awesome, astounded. How many think it would be beautiful to astound the person you're in life with here, ladies and gentlemen? Okay.
Look, we've been together 22 years, and I think we have an incredible marriage.
Yes.
So I think for us it's building.
Yes.
We certainly are facing an incredibly large life obstacle when we get home, and it's really odd that this course came right now, because I booked it 14 months ago, and things changed in the last week before we arrived quite radically, and I think this program has helped us shift the way we're going to approach that life-changing event when we get home, because it radically is going to change everything. And I think for Michael and I to go from a level 2 to a level 1 in our relationship will actually help us deal with the issue which has got nothing to do with our relationship, if that makes any sense.
By the way, how many think that would be true in your life as well? That if you had position 1, love and passion every day, whatever the fuck you had to face, you could face it with much more power and grace. Say I. Yeah. That's beautiful.
For sure.
For sure.
For sure. And I think there's many things that this last 3 days has helped us with, but I think I came hoping someone was going to, help us solve the issues, and I've realized, as I know that we're the only ones that can do that, but I think we have the tools that can help us navigate the next stage. And
maybe do it in a beautiful state in spite of the challenge.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that yet. My husband seems to be a little bit further along the journey than I am, because he's feeling very inspired, and I am incredibly inspired, but the obstacles are still there, and the reality of it, I think I'm more practical than he is.
Yes.
And I think the practicality of it makes me more masculine, and I shift into that role very easily.
Yes.
And this issue needs Michael to be the man, actually.
Yes.
So
what's happening? Does it look like the man is showing up?
It does, actually.
Yes. Yes.
It really does. And
so the one thing that would be really important for all of us is when you find your partner making even the smallest progress, you want to reward disproportionately. Because we're all training each other all the time how to be, whether we know it or not. I'll give you a quick example. My daughter, who at the time she was, I think, 14, she kind of sprouted into a woman very quickly, and I had to show her boyfriend, who was 26, when she was 14, how she got a 26-year-old boyfriend was beyond me, but I had to show him my gun collection and explain to him how things were working. And,
Michael relates.
Yes. And so I got his full attention, but what sincerely was really beautiful was I watched my daughter, he was a football player in college, actually he was 23, I'm sorry, not 27, and he was a football player, and he one night didn't come home at the time she'd hoped for, and she was scared, but the way she showed it was anger. And he didn't show up. He showed up, I think, 45 minutes later, an hour late. And his practice had gone long for football, but he didn't call. He was in the midst of everything, didn't call. And quite honestly, he didn't call, but also I could see he didn't want to call because he didn't want to get the upset. He figured wait till he got her in person. And when he finally got there, she unleashed on him. And I didn't want to interfere, so I left it alone. And then I watched 3 days later a very similar act again. And I pulled my daughter aside and I said, "You are training him to leave you." She said, "What?" I said, "He did what you wanted, and when he did what you wanted, you punished him. He came to be with you. But the fact he didn't do it at the time you wanted, and because you felt fearful, instead of when he coming saying, 'Oh my gosh, I missed you,' and assuming what he did was really important, you seemed to assume that he didn't give a shit about you. You've done it now twice in 3 days. I said, there won't be 6 times, I guarantee you. And even if it is, if he just sticks around to try to please you, your relationship's already over. We train each other. And what you want to do is, if you have a child and you want to train the child to go to the bathroom and the toilet for the first time, and they miss it because they're brand new at it, what do? Just beat the shit out of that kid? No, what do? You reward them for doing things approximately right. You got some of the pee in and the others all over the wall, but that's good. You did some of it, right? That was awesome, right? Who knows what I'm talking about? If you didn't give reinforcement for approximately good behavior or even slight progress that really wasn't there yet, you would never be going to the bathroom in a toilet because you would have been punished continuously until you said it and just did something else. That's what people do in relationships all the time. So I've watched multiple times when there's been these beautiful moments the couples have shared, and if you watched, I'm like motioning the guy, get your ass over there. It's not that he doesn't care, it's just he's not in the habit of going to her. He's not in the habit of reinforcing right then and there. And you are not in the habit of reinforcing him, it's very obvious either, right? And he just stood up and opened his heart, put himself on the line, did something men don't do. He stood in front of 1,200 people from 33 countries and said everything he wants for his relationship with you, right? And if you look at his face, he opened to you and everything else, but now he's still human, even though he's a man. Men are humans, ladies. And in that human part of himself, he still has the same fear you do, and everybody does, which is this going to be enough? Will she really feel my love? Will she really get it? And the fact when he came to you and it's like, well, there's nothing wrong with what you said, and you said a lot of very positive things too, I'm not being critical. But the whole pragmatic aspect kills any sense of romance or aliveness or polarity. Now, are you masculine in your core, or did you become masculine to deal with all the issues of life?
I'm definitely feminine,
yes.
and I do know that.
Yes.
But
so the next step for you, if you're open to it, if you're willing to, it's to take that tension that's so geared in your body, and I don't know the incident, but I know it's a big incident by watching both of you. And I know it's not about your relationship, but it's obviously a huge incident. It's got to be dealt with. Nothing, as you said, would be more important than the two of you being closer and more in love and more passionate. You said it yourself, but the time to do that is now. What's our favorite word now, ladies and gentlemen? When in doubt, now. When you feel like you don't want to do something with your partner, doesn't feel comfortable, now. You don't hesitate. If you'll train yourself to do that, the game will change. But for you, what's happened is, and I understand, I feel for you, I'm sure he also got stressed and went feminine, and so you stepped into your masculine, which you had before you met him.
And we've also had that practiced in the last couple of years. Michael's actually, he's had cancer, and he came out of it, and then he had a very serious motorbike accident, which took him out of action for more than a year. And during that time period, I picked up the business, and it kind of became a habit, you know.
Thank you. Give her a hand for that. That's awesome. That's awesome.
I do recognize that, and I think Michael does too, but the habits are, you know, it's that pathway there that you...
Where is the girl in there?
No, she is in there.
Okay, show me where she is.
She's there, right here. She's here.
Where? Show me where she resides. Good location. So feel her for a moment. Actually, physically feel her. Close your eyes and feel her. Get out of your head. I understand why you are. I'm not being critical of you in any way. What you both shouldered is immense. And you love each other, and I know you're inseparable. But I don't want you to be inseparable at level 2, because that's not what you want. You both deserve more. You've been so devoted to each other. You've been such a pillar of strength for him through the cancer and through all that's been there. But he's now willing to take on. He's willing to take back what you had to take on. Am I correct or false about that?
100%.
100%. And I know it because it's not what he said. He just said it. You look in his eyes and the way he's looking at you, he wants you free again. And he's going to free you, and you're going to help. And the way you're going to help is you're going to stop hypnotizing yourself, Nikki. And the way you hypnotize yourself is with language. We all do it with words. When you recite the same things over and over again, you feel the same things over and over again. You've been reciting and then saying, I know better. But as long as you recite it, it hypnotizes you. And you believe it and you live it. You also would be afraid to let go of this now. You'd be afraid to let go of it because you're in a situation where you've had to deal with so much and there's still more to deal with. So part of you says this masculine's got to stay here. Part of you's afraid, will he go back? Will he go into his feminine? But a decision made from fear is only going to hurt you. And it'll hurt him, but he's a big boy. I think you're going to have to decide, are you willing to use the F word? Faith. Are you willing, in spite of all this, because so much is on the line, to breathe in your heart and to let the little girl come out and know that he will be there to catch her? I can tell you, I know people pretty fucking well. And I can tell you right now, this man will not drop you this time, not in a million years. And I don't say that if I have an ounce of concern. But what I say doesn't matter. You need to feel him. Because right now, the pain and the fear is making you look through the colored glasses of the past. And if we try to drive in the future using a rearview mirror, we crash. And most of us aren't experiencing our partner in life anymore. We're experiencing our memories of the past. And that will kill any relationship. Because any relationship that has time has had ups and downs, it's had pain. We've all made giant mistakes. Who has made giant mistakes in the past? Say, I. But the only way we get free is by stopping running the same recording, stopping the same movie, and being willing to write a new one together. And two people that love each other and are committed to each other and are hungry for passion can create it, because there's no relationship between problems and happiness. You can have huge problems and be very happy, especially when you're together and intimate. You can have no problems and turn little into giant problems. That's not a problem you have. So it's time to return if you're willing to. So I need to know if Nikki inside, I need to know if she'd be willing to take 30 days and let him take charge and have just a little bit of trust and keep opening even though it's scary. And only you know the truth. So ask your heart. If I stay tight like this, we can predict where things will go. If you open, even though it's scary, you might find out that you don't have to hold on so tight anymore because there's two big arms, a giant heart, a spirit and a soul across from you that worships and loves you. We can all feel it. Who feels it? The whole fucking room feels it. Open your eyes and look into those eyes and feel his presence. Do you?
I do. I promise you, I felt more of Michael in the last couple of days than I felt in a very long time. And it is overwhelming a little bit. And
yes, hard to trust a little bit.
Yeah, I do worry a little bit. And I just want to say the one thing, I do believe that he wants to take the lead, and I'm concerned that it won't happen.
I understand. And so what would happen if you were giving your all and then someone said, I want to believe, but I don't in you?
I know.
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
And I'm very quick to criticize, and I do understand that. And, and it's not meant as criticism. It's actually meant more as...
It's a call.
An assistance to help him.
She's calling to him saying, please prove it to me. And the hard part is he just did all that he could for that, and she still doesn't believe it. And I can see why she doesn't believe it, because she's scared. She's just scared. And she has evidence to say it wouldn't work in the past, because they've been through so many things where you needed to be masculine. And do you want the past or do you want the future?
No, I want the future.
Then you have to be able to let go of this.
No, I know. It's harder than I thought. Because
yes,
it's in my head, and I've just got to get it into my heart.
Yes, so
and
let's do that. Let's do that. What's the fastest way to bring it into your heart?
To attach emotion to it.
Good. How are we going to do that?
I've got to believe it. And I think
it's
that's the
like
process.
People say, I'll believe it when I see it. But the truth is,
I'm a
you'll
scientist,
see it when
by
you
the
believe
way.
it.
So I do. I believe in the practical. I am. I'm science. That is the way my brain thinks.
I know you believe in the practical. And how well has that done for you so far?
It's done very well, actually. It has. It's done really well. Look where we are.
That didn't come from the practical.
No, it's done. I don't know. It's done well. It's done well. It's done very well. No, it has. I have a plan and my spreadsheet.
No. I understand George. I understand Charles. I understand Fred. I understand Corey. But I was hoping to speak to the feminine part of you for a moment, not the boy. Billy the kid is well developed here. There's no hope as long as you keep going back to the pragmatic, because nothing about a relationship is pragmatic.
No.
If you're pragmatic, you wouldn't get married.
Yeah. No, it's true.
It's true.
Yeah. It's true.
What about love as pragmatic?
Love is an emotion.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh, it's a good feeling. It's a good emotion.
It's a good emotion.
Yeah, it's great. It's
Wow.
magic. Very
So
special.
every now and then you can just take it out of your wallet, use it, put it back. Like
We
taking
actually have we have a tremendous amount of love. We
know.
really do. And
I
it's
know you
built,
do.
it's built over the years.
I know that. That's
Yeah.
why I have no concern about that part. My concern is about the passion part.
Yeah. That's a part we do need to work on.
No, it's not you work on. You do it or you don't.
Yeah.
It won't happen in this place. Nothing wrong with this place, Nikki. There's nothing wrong at all.
Yeah.
And I know the pragmatic part of you has been rewarded a lot. It's given you a sense of control. Because which needs have been driving you? Let's just look at what the real problem here. I hope you all see it.
Certainty.
And there's no room for aliveness with certainty is number one. Because passion is found in the realm of uncertainty, and the quality of your life is in direct proportion to the amount of uncertainty you comfortably live with, but you're not stepping into any of it.
Yeah.
So you understand that pragmatically, so you'll never get it in this physiology. That's the lesson. What do you need to value most for the next stage of life to be alive for you, not just okay or good?
For me, it was love and connections. And
Love and connection
yeah,
has nothing
and
to do with
contribution.
love and connection has nothing to do with pragmatic, and neither is contribution.
But contribution has always been a big one of mine. I really do want to make a difference. I want to make a difference in the business. I want to make a difference in the lives of the people who I touch. So contribution has always been there. It's just never been a driving
I understand.
driver.
But you're also moving to the contribution because it's a way for you to know that you're deserving of the love. And you already are deserving. And you don't have to prove it anymore.
I know Michael loves me.
You what, honey?
I know he loves me.
Oh, I know he loves you, and that's obvious. And I know you love him.
Yeah.
This is not about that.
Okay.
What's this about?
She's dead scared of what's going to happen.
Give him a hand, that's spot on. So how are you going to get through to her?
When we came here, last week, when this bombshell hit our lives,
Do you want to tell us what it is in a minute or 30 seconds, or would you
Yeah.
want to keep it private?
we lost close to $1 million. Everything we have in our hands, gone. Our stupidity. So I'm acknowledging that it was completely our fault. We gave it to an investor, and the guy's
It doesn't,
topped himself.
look, it's us and it's 600 other families. So
Yeah,
it's a
there's
long
600
story, and
families
it's a devastating story that's going to unfold, and it will hit the media, and it will be bigger than us. But for us, it is absolutely devastating. As you can
understand.
hear, we're immigrants, and not immigrants is
But
such
if
a
I can just add one thing. Yesterday when we were doing the I'm sorry, I love you, please forgive me exercise, I went over to her and we were laughing and etc. And I said, imagine if this had happened to us after we came to date with Destiny, then we'd really be fucked. And she looked at me and said, you're not fucked now. So I said, on Monday night, I thought my heart was going to explode. This weight was so bad. And over the last few days, fucking deal with it.
Yeah, I know. I'm not there yet. Unfortunately, I'm not there yet. And I'm not. I haven't accepted.
So you want to suffer for how much longer?
I know.
No, you don't know.
I do.
No, you don't.
I do.
You're sitting here and you're in your head, which I totally understand. How many in this room have had money stolen from you, have lost everything at one point? Let me see your hands. Look around the room. What you think is so unique is not unique at all.
But Tony...
No, listen to me. You are right now about to your life up so bad. You have this one chance. There is an opening for you. Remember we talked about the chemistry?
Yep.
You're at the opening. You up this opening, and your $1 million loss is going to look like something you'd celebrate compared to what you're experienced. You need to wake the up.
Yep.
Wake the up. If you got health, if you got someone that loves you and who you love, it's horrific it happened, but it's done. And the more you spend time there, the more you're dead inside. You're dead. And this man is willing to pursue and break through with you, but you got to do your part too. You're going to sit here and wallow in this, or you're going to find a way to step up and deal with it. If you got love, you can do it. Who here has ever been, we lost everything, but there was love there? Who's had that experience? That's something you can handle, as he said. This can't be handled. This will destroy your life. And there's only one person doing it, it's you. And don't tell me you know it. In your head is not doing you a bit of good. Suffer or not. The deal is, I'm going to find a way to live in a beautiful state no matter what. If they took $10 million, if we had nothing, if we were going to be put in jail. I met Nelson Mandela in jail for 26 years. He didn't whine like you are. And he didn't have somebody beside him. His wife was trying to kill him. You are a blessed little who's lost what happened to your life. You got everything ahead of you, and all you're doing is focusing on this one thing. Now, I understand, but understanding and $1 million still won't make you happy. Because when the million was here, you weren't fucking happy. Correct me if I'm wrong. Tell me right now if I'm wrong.
You're right.
Then it has nothing to do with $1 million. It has to do with what you're doing in your head. Wake the up now, or don't, and suffer for a lifetime and lose everything you deserve and desire. Give him a hand, ladies and gentlemen. Give him a hand. So, wow. What just happened?
What did I just say?
What's that?
You know what, Tony, I do. I need to let it go. I need to let it go. I need to let it go. And it's hard.
Let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
Nikki, I didn't say it was easy.
No. Sure, you know, it's...
But this is beautiful right now because you're actually authentically feeling. This is beautiful. Is this beautiful?
Yeah. You know what, I think this is, of all the challenges we've had in our adult life, and geez, I mean, we've immigrated twice, and look, our story is no different to anybody else. We're from South Africa, we left it all behind. I just think this is the biggest obstacle we've ever faced in our adult life. I have a 64-year-old husband. I mean, Michael's not 25, you know.
Yes.
I'm like, shit. Where do you go from here, you know?
What? You didn't value it when it was here.
I know, that's what he's just said. He's just said to me, Nix, you know, we had it, and we
and I'm trying to prevent you from missing something much more valuable.
I know. I know.
Something priceless.
I know. And it's all the stories. You know, we have a 13-year-old daughter. We want to be a an inspiration to her. And
Yes, so be that.
We
So
told her
be
we
that.
would give her all this opportunity. And
No,
now,
no. What you need to show her is how to live life no matter what happens.
I know.
You need to show how life can be beautiful no matter what happens.
I know.
I know the mama in you wants to just give her everything, but the more 100 billion times more valuable experience is to see the two of you come closer, have love, joy, and passion in the midst of it all. That gift is priceless.
Yeah, I know.
That gift is priceless.
I know. I know. I know.
But the problem is,
A lot of-
honey, you know so much in your head, and that's what's making you feel dead inside. So you know, also in here, you didn't appreciate it fully when it was here, so it's gone.
And I think
That's why it's gone.
I know. You know what we spoke about that? We actually said maybe we needed this wake-up call, and I don't know why it had to be such a big one. You know, a little smaller would have been good. A little smaller would have been good.
This is the small one. The big one's coming if you don't change. Did you hear me?
Yeah.
That's why I was so intense with you. My intensity is not towards you.
No,
You can feel me.
I get it, and
That's
I do
why I
get
didn't
it.
jump over the chair.
Yes, I know. I love that about you. That's
And I
awesome.
do get it,
He
and I'm.
came to protect you. Did
Yeah,
you see that?
well, I've lived with him for 22 years. Let me tell you, there's nothing more scary than that.
That's awesome. I believe that. I believe that. But here's what's true. None of us know how long we're going to live.
I know.
All we know is this moment. Why would we f up this moment? This moment is so beautiful. This moment of you being able to let go so that you could have a little bit of freedom in your heart and your head.
I know. Sorry.
But the only way it's going to come, since I know is the answer to everything. Your hypnosis is I know. You don't know. If you knew, you wouldn't continue to say the things you've been saying.
Certainty. Tony, you spoke about grace, and I sat there, and I was hurting.
You were what?
I was hurting.
Yes.
Sorry, she said 2 days ago, she's known me for I don't know how many years, 25 years or something. She said, see me cry twice in my life until this
Seminar.
And the seminar is.
I've been walking around crying the whole
I think
time.
everybody
It's
thinks
like,
he cries all the time.
It takes a truly masculine man to cry.
It's a little scary, I must admit. I know, it's very cool.
But I want you to feel while he's talking right now, this is the real you. I'm meeting Nikki for the first time right now. How many meeting Nikki right now? Can you feel her? She has a beautiful sense of humor. She's full of love. There's two words we need to ban from your vocabulary for at least 6 months.
holy, oh yeah. Words like this,
There's 2 words and a head movement we need to ban for the next 6 months. What are those 2 words?
I know.
Yeah. What can we replace those 2 words with? Because here's the problem with knowing all the time. When you always know, you no longer experience life. You experience your filter for life. Because life's happening spontaneously. Crazy happens. Things could happen that could change all this in different ways you're not expecting. And I know you've been through so much trauma and you've been so strong. But God has brought grace to you. This doesn't look like it, but this is grace. Because I don't know of greater grace than you get to be who you are and not have to hold it all together and to have this man show up for you at the level you probably have always wished he would.
Yeah, that's true.
He knows it's true. Yeah. So in the middle of this, if that took $1 million that you didn't fully appreciate wasn't here, I know you'd prefer a different lesson, but this is life happening for you, not to you.
Yeah.
And when you think it's happening to you, that's when you're in suffering. Now, I don't expect you to see all the ways it's happening for you. I don't expect anything, but I just feel your pain, and I don't want you to be in pain if I can do anything. And the thing I can do is I can simply get you to see the truth that's in front of you. And I know you'll still get scared again, but if you can really feel the truth, if you can get in your head right now, that God has not abandoned you and that your daughter will have 100 billion better quality of life than if you sent her to the best school in the world and you gave her all that she needed. What she needs is to see how to navigate life with grace. And she's seen how to do it with intensity and determination that you've shown. But she's also seen the way to do it is through her head. And if you do that to her, you will have destroyed her life because she will never have the relationship even you've had with your man. And all the frustration and pain you've had with God, the universe, and your man, for all the things you've been through, this is the payoff when you let go and you find out on the side that I can be grateful for no matter what. And I got to tell you something. If you can consistently find that true gratitude and love and return to this passion, life does amazing things. Grace works in amazing ways. And when you no longer are so focused on how do I get back to that economic world, right when you think that doesn't matter and you no longer are hooked by it, I can promise you something will happen that will be beautiful. Something will happen. It always does. I've been on this planet only 56 years, but I've dealt with 50 million people in 100 countries. There is not a situation like yours that I haven't either experienced or worked with someone on. And I'm here to tell you that if you will return to grace, which is faith and love, something more beautiful than what you think you lost is here. But if you continue to stay in that head, Nikki, then you'd be in a position where you're going to have a much bigger loss. You say you want a smaller lesson. You didn't get the smaller lessons along the way. That's why you got the bigger lesson. And if you don't get this one, you get a much bigger lesson that I'm the last person on earth want to see you go through. And this man won't let it happen.
Please get this one.
You help her with this one by your presence. And I have to say, Michael, the man I see here who is vulnerable and strong, right? Masculine is not non-vulnerable. That's a phony. That's somebody who's fake, or that's someone who doesn't care. He has what you want. He has masculine and the feminine in him. If he was only the masculine, the traditional masculine, you wouldn't be able to trust this man. Yeah. You picked a good man, and you've run the road. So this is the stage of life. Did you just say I know? Oh my God. That is a well-oiled phrase, isn't it?
We need to find the replacement words.
What is the replacement for I know? Thank God.
You're right. I don't know.
Oh my God, you're right. I don't know. That would be a fucking new vision of life.
Our daughter's name is Faith for a reason.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, sure.
What's the reason?
I guess if you have a kid when you're 50 plus, you've got to have a lot of faith. You don't just run around having kids.
No, we named her that because we felt we needed to believe.
Who named her that?
You did, actually.
Oh, there we go.
We needed to believe in the reason we had her, actually.
Yes.
It's belief.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, if this was the only moment you two had left, would you want it to be focused on this fucking money?
No, not at all.
What would you be
Not at
wanting
all.
to tell him or feel with him, experience with him? I'm asking, what would it be if these were your last moments together?
Well, I'd want him to know how much I love him.
Yeah, well.
He knows that.
That's another version of I know, he knows.
Must I tell him?
What's that?
Must I tell him?
You must not do anything. I'm tired of you having to do must. I don't want to give you any more musts. You've had too many musts. I want you to make choices. Okay. I want you to make choices that you want that are coming from your heart instead of your head.
Well,
I know you're scared.
No, I do believe in you, and I do.
I know you're scared.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
Okay.
No, no. Okay. No, I know. I don't know how to get that word out of my vocabulary. I don't.
It's real simple.
But
You're going to put your finger in your nose, multiple notes, every time you say I for no.
I am ready to let it go. I'm ready to let it go. You just need to help me do it. That's all.
We unfortunately were ready about a week or so ago when it went. That's the unfortunate part. Now we got to just accept.
Yes.
It's done.
Yeah.
Now it's moved forward. And I do love you desperately and dearly.
And I love you too.
These two just gave us one of the most beautiful demonstrations we could ever have of what the masculine and the feminine can do when the polarity's gone. What did he do? He did what any great masculine energy do. He never fucking gave up, and he won't. He kept coming and coming and coming and coming and coming and coming. And he embraced her, he pulled her into her, he reassured her continuously. He showed her that the external stimulus that was possibly she thought would hurt her, he wouldn't let it happen. He came immediately. That was by design. But I couldn't get him to do it. He had to make that choice, and he did it immediately. Now. How perfect is that? And he had both the presence. And gentlemen, you keep hearing this word presence, and if you ask a woman what it is, they can't usually tell you. They just tell you don't have it. Is it true, ladies? So I can tell you what it really is, and he demonstrated it so beautifully. It's caring and connection simultaneously. My wife would say, "You're not present." I used to get so pissed because I cared so much. What are you talking about? I'm not present. I'm so right here. I'm caring about I'm listening to every word you're saying. For some reason, that didn't make her feel my presence. I was caring, but I was not connected. Or other times, I'd be connected, but I really didn't understand. When you combine those two, you have something really powerful, and he's demonstrated. He demonstrated it with compassion. He brought caring, that compassion, and he brought absolute presence for the standpoint. He stayed connected to her even when she was rejecting him. It wasn't her intent to reject him. She was just scared. So she tested and tested and tested and tested and tested and tested. And most men would give up. Most men would go, "There's nothing that will ever work with this woman." But his soul has been pierced so much by her, and he has grown as a man. And quite frankly, if it cost $1 million for him to become your fucking man, that was a cheap fucking price to pay, because you'll have this man's soul for the rest of your life, not like you've had in the past. The masculine part of it there to take care of you. Would you trade the money for that? For sure. I know that. You have it. Give him a hand. Give him a hand, ladies and gentlemen.
So, what did you think? Now you might get why director Joe Berlinger said that his goal in making the documentary was to share a profound experience that he himself underwent. Because while this event itself might not be for everyone, the hope is that as you witness the journey that others undertake and the principles that guide their transformation, you'll think about how some of these principles might apply to your own situation and take the right actions to change it for the better. For more of these types of stories, go to Netflix, hit the play button on Tony Robbins' I Am Not Your Guru, available on July 15th. And to learn more about Tony Robbins and Date with Destiny, visit www.tonyrobbins.com/documentary. The Tony Robbins podcast is directed by Tony Robbins and hosted by Anna Yorg. Carrie Song is our executive producer. Tyler Culbertson is our associate producer. Jamie Carvajal and Adriel De La Torre are our digital editors. Special thanks to Diane Adcock and Mary Buckheit for their creative review. Copyright Robbins Research International.